I shall tell you a story about something else that happened because I'm a little bit on telly now, and people phone up and they ask you to do interesting things. I was asked about 3 years ago to write a journalistic piece for the first time. I was really excited. A Sunday paper phoned up. They said, "Would you like to write a piece for us?" I immediately agreed, and as the conversation went on, it transpired it was a piece for the motoring section called "My First Crash." I think I would have said no, but I'd already said yes earlier in the conversation. So, what do you do? I said, yeah, okay, fine. And in the end, I was quite pleased with what I wrote. I wrote about 250 words on my first crash. I said, what happened was I went on a driving holiday, flew into Barcelona, rented a car, went around Spain, Portugal, France, just staying in sort of 3-star hotels and B&Bs and just kind of hanging around, yeah? And the idea was we would end up driving back to Paris, get the Eurostar back. Go first class, be quite exciting. It only just opened, so it was quite an exciting thing. We slightly mistimed it, so we're kind of late getting back into Paris. This is the days before, sat-nav. So we've got maps out, we're trying to work out how Paris is, it's a complicated city to get round. It's late at night. We got cut up by loads of guys on scooters, just in an underpass. We just clipped a Merc. No harm done. Have you all seen that incredibly powerful commercial where every time a famous person clicks their fingers, a child dies? I was watching it, I couldn't help thinking, stop clicking your fingers. I went out to dinner last night, I killed 2 kids just getting the bill. For just £1 a day, you can feed a child in Africa. Sounds good, but I've checked, that's self-catering. I saw a thing on a notice board recently. They're organising a parachute jump for people with Alzheimer's. That's something that I'd pay to see. That's basically euthanasia. You all right, Grandad? You know what you're doing? I fought in the war. That's as maybe. 1,000, 2, 1,000. Are you my nephew? I've done quite a few charity gigs over the past year. I did one in this very room. It's for a charity which I now know is called Laughter for Leukemia. Now, I'd had a long day and I turned up late and, I made a mistake. I said it's lovely to be here laughing at leukemia. Skinheads down the front didn't like it. I was in Los Angeles last year. I did a gig for The Big Issue. They were relaunching The Big Issue out there, and they'd organised this big sort of gala gig. They asked me to do 5 minutes. I said it'd be my pleasure. And what they'd done, which I thought was quite interesting, they'd invited a lot of the homeless people along to the gig. So a whole section of the audience were homeless people, vendors of The Big Issue in Los Angeles. And I thought, what a brilliant thing, because you think hungry and homeless, but you don't think, they could do with a night out. Night out's not the right phrase, but you get my drift. I walked out, I said, it's lovely to see so many bums on seats. This didn't translate, really. This is the problem with doing charity gigs for other people. What you want to do is have your own foundation, your own kind of, your own charity. That's the brilliant thing that kind of big A-list celebrities get to do. They get to have their own charity. I'd love to do that. Look at Michael Jackson, he's got his own charity. The Neverland Foundation. They fly sick children. What, good-looking sick children? They fly good-looking sick children who look as if they could keep a secret into the Neverland Ranch, and they give them massive cash payouts. Valuable work. Who here, while we're on the topic, who here thinks Michael Jackson's innocent? Person down there? Quite a lot of people here? Who? Go on, show of hands. Hands right up in the air. Quite a lot of you think Michael Jackson's innocent. And do you know what? You've got morality on your side, because he was found innocent by a jury of his peers. Albeit Americans, still counts. I wouldn't have bothered with the whole trial. I just would have stood up in front of the jury and simply said this. If I was a billionaire paedophile, and I'm not, but if I was a billionaire paedophile, I definitely have a fun fair in my back garden. He couldn't be any more dodgy if his house was made out of sweets. Who here's got kids? Who here's got kids? You got kids? You got kids? Would you let them play at Michael Jackson's house? No? No. You would? You look like quite an old fella. How old are your kids? In their 20s, yeah. Would you have let your children play at Michael Jackson's house when they were about 12? No. No. For $10 million? You'd have to think about it. If you like fast-paced, edgy one-liners, get ready to be happy. I'm announcing a new tour. It's called Jimmy Carr Laughs Funny, and I'll be touring all around the world. Come and see me. If you don't like fast-paced, edgy jokes, then it's not for you. You know, get some perspective. Maybe they're just jokes.